Hey guys, I'm glad to be with you today. I want to talk to you about integrity. I want to talk to you about the fact that it does matter what we do as Christians. People are watching us everywhere. They are. Okay. And you say, well, Ryan, it's not fair that I'm under a microscope. Well, there's nothing you can do about it. If you're a professing Christian, and I hope that you're a professing Christian enough that people know that you at least claim to be. If they can't tell you are, there's a problem, because that means you're probably acting more like the world than you are like Christ. I know that there are times that I do. Okay, act more like the world than I do Christ. I know that. I remember the words of Paul, reading the words of Paul. Why do I do the things I don't want to do and don't do the things I do want to do? And then he kind of ends that whole tirade against himself by saying, who's going to save me from this body of death? None other but Jesus Christ can do that. All right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We ought to be walking in integrity. We ought to conduct our business differently. Whatever it is, whatever your job is, wherever you work, we ought to conduct it differently because we know Christ. All right. We ought to treat people wonderfully. We ought to not cheat people. We ought to love them. We ought to serve people. At times we ought to be wronged and get over it. Okay. We ought to be wronged and get over it. And that's that, it's difficult to do. I understand. And, there are times in our life, man, where we're just sitting there going, you got to be kidding me. Man, I could make so much more money if I did it this way. And we know it's not the right way. Or I could, this person really doesn't have any idea about what it is that I'm talking about. I could really trick them into doing something where I could make more money, they could make less, or I'm going to cheat my boss out of this time, or that kind of thing like that. Doesn't work like that, folks. It's just not good. What we need to be doing is serving the Lord with gladness. We need to be showing people what Jesus is like. And if we're showing, they're going to think you are like Jesus if you act foolish too. Okay, they're going to say, well, if that's the way Christianity is, I don't want anything to do with it. If you're going to act, non-integrous, if that's the way to say that, if you're going to act without integrity, they're going to think, okay, well, if that's the way they want to do, I can do that. I can be that kind of person without going to church, without caring anything about Christ, without being born again. I can act like that. Here's the thing. As Christians, if we are the example, then everything we do in all of our business and our family and our friends and our extended family and all of our friends outside of the family, all of those things, they have to see a reflection of Jesus Christ and how Jesus would do. I know it's an it's become cliche almost, to what would Jesus do? But the key is, man, if we'll keep that in the back of our head and we'll say, hey, how would Jesus handle this situation? Sometimes there's times to confront, sometimes there's times to rebuke and exhort, and there's times to teach and discipline and all those things like that. But there is not a time for us not to be full of integrity and do things the right way. Okay, there's not ever a time that we're not supposed to do things with integrity. God is a God of integrity. God is a God of keeping his promises. God is a God of holiness. God is a God of integrity. Love you guys. That's what we ought to be doing. Live with integrity. Love you guys. Bye-bye.